science or biology. Today we are going to talk about density. So in the mail, you guys should have gotten an envelope from me that contains paper clips and aluminum foil. You will have 3 assignments that go along with density. One is a reading about will it sink and will it float. One is density math, and one is called a paperclip boat lab. So those 3 assignments are on the density unit in your Google Classroom. I'm going to do a brief talk about what density is. We're going to talk about it being a physical property. We're going to do a couple problems of density math, and then I'm going to explain the density boat paperclip lab to you guys, which hopefully you already have the supplies for. If not, they should be coming in the next couple days. If you do not get them by Monday, please, please, please let me know. It's really important that you get those for your lab. So first, we need to know what density is. So density is a physical property. So that means it's something that we can observe, we can measure it. It is a measurement. And what we do with it is we know that it is the amount of stuff in an amount of space. So when we use stuff, that means it's a mass. Mass we measure in grams. In space, that's our term for volume. So our unit for density is always going to be a unit for mass over volume. So we can do grams over milliliters. We can do grams over centimeters cubed. It's going to be a ratio of mass to volume. So it's important we remember it's a ratio of mass over volume. The equation for density is just like we see this. So density equals mass over volume. We can say that we can move the variables around using basic algebra. We can say that mass equals volumes times density. We can say that, so the way I did this was I just multiplied volume by density. We can move it around a smidge more and say that volume equals mass over density. So that's just a little bit about it. The main question that density helps us answer is, will something sink or float? So that's kind of what density does, is it tells us, will something sink in a liquid or will it float? So you might notice that if you ever get a glass of water or a glass of soda or juice and you put ice in it, the ice always kind of hovers to the top. It never sinks to the bottom. If you're ever on a lake or near a lake in the winter, the ice always freezes in the top. That is because ice is less dense than water. So ice has a density of about 0.92, and the density of water is 1. That's really important. That's actually in your reading, and you will need to highlight, underline, circle in the very first assignment you have for density, which should be done by the time I'm posting this video. It's actually a question you have to answer. So the density of water is 1. This is a really, really, really important thing. We're going to compare the density of water to a lot of things. So if something is more dense, oh, I don't want to use black again. I want to use a different color. I hope you guys can see this and it's not, the light's not weird. I'm really hoping. Usually you guys, it's odd not talking to a class full of students and talking to my couch. I don't like it. So if the number is bigger than 1, it will sink. If it's less than 1, it will float. It is nice though not having to ask people to stop having side conversations. but I do miss the side conversations. And now talking to myself makes me feel a little crazy, but yeah, anyway, still talking to myself like usual. Bring this whiteboard into work. I think I'm going to bring this into school next year. I don't know where I'm going to put it. That's going to be up to you guys. I think I'm going to bring these decorations in. What do you guys think? You'll have to let me know if I should bring the decorations in, redo my room again. Who knows? All right, anyway, back to the matter at hand, density. Haha, matter, mass. What a good accidental pun. I'm leaving that in. Future Angela, Miss Horton, don't edit that out. All right, so we talked about it being a physical property. We talked about it being a ratio of mass to volume. We talked about the math that is needed. We talked about the density of water. We talked about it sinking and floating. I'm going to make a note to the side here that mass, when we talk about mass, it's the matter. And when we talk about volume, volume is space. So density is the amount of stuff in a given space. So it's going to change depending on how heavy something is and the amount of space. So each thing, each object has a different density. We're going to do a couple practice problems together because that is the second assignment you have. You have density math. So when you look at the assignment on Google Classroom, it says to choose 6 on the table and 2 word problems. So please read that before you do it because there's way more than 6 on that table. And I don't want you to have to do more than you need to. So there's 6 questions you have to answer. I'm going to go through 2 of them. So that means you have to do 4 on your own. And then you have to do 2 of the word problems out of like 5. So it's way less work than you need to do. All right. So again, our equation is density equals mass over volume. So our first one is, I don't remember what it is, but the number is, our mass is 0.657 and our volume is 2. So I'm going to take my calculator. I'm just going to plug it in. 0.657 over 2. If you don't have a calculator, use your phone, use your Chromebook, use your fingers. Just kidding, you can't probably do this on your fingers, but use your phone, Chromebook, internet, whatever you need. Our answer here is 0.3285. Please put units because there's units there. This is in grams, this is in milliliters. So our unit is grams per milliliter, and it wants to know if it will sink or float. Remember our unit, or we're asking if it's floating in water. Our density of water if it's greater than 1, bigger than 1, we sink. Less than 1, we float. 0.3, we float. So we all float down here. All right, next practice problem. I think this is the aluminum. I'm not sure, but our mass is 14.6. We have 4 milliliters of it. Grams. Gotta plug it into our calculator. 14.6 divided by 4. 3.65 grams per milliliter. 3 is bigger than 1. We are gonna sink like a rock, which makes sense. If you have an aluminum cube, it's gonna sink in the water. So that is just our math problem right there. Very simple, easy plug and chug answers. Our questions, our word problem questions require a little bit of thinking. Think through the water questions. When density is less than another density, we're gonna float. Density is higher, it's gonna sink. All of the questions you can answer by thinking through. If you have questions, email, call, text me, I'm here to help. The final thing I wanna talk through is our penny boat challenge, but it's our paperclip boat challenge. So I sent you in the mail a piece of aluminum foil and paper clips. So what you need to do with your supplies is you are going to make, out of your tin foil, the first thing you need to do is cut your tin foil into 3 equal pieces. I did not do this for you. You need to do this. So I would actually cut it into 4 because it will be easier for you. So I'm going to pretend that this is 4 because I'm not cutting it and making a lot of noise. What you're going to do is make a boat for yourself, whatever you want your boat to be. I'm going to make a terrible boat because I want to do this quickly. So here's my boat. I'm going to put this in my bathtub, my sink, whatever. I'm going to either take a picture with my phone or draw it. I don't care which one. If I take a picture, I'm going to either upload it to my lab or I'm going to send it to Miss Horton. Either one's fine. You're going to test to see if it sinks or floats. If it floats, you're going to start putting paper clips on it. You're going to count how many paper clips you hold before it sinks. You're going to count how many paper clips were on it before it sinks. So if it holds 5, the minute you put 6 on, it sinks. It floats 5. So one thing that I know you guys might have trouble with is the difference between independent and dependent variables. So let me just erase this real quick. I know we did this at the beginning of e-learning, but I just want to revisit it quickly. Independent is what you change. Dependent is what you measure. So independent is going to be boat construction. Dependent is going to be paper clips. I'm going to post this lab to your Google Classroom today. You should have the supplies today by Monday at the latest. If you have questions, let me know. I will go through more as you have questions. Again, please feel free, email, text me. I miss you guys so much. I hope you're staying healthy and safe, and I can't wait to see you guys soon. Bye.